Hello once again, it's Ryan. Today is Thursday, March 15th, and I want to talk a little bit about what happened at the school board's committee, the whole meeting that took place on Tuesday. I also have got some announcements that I would like to make in this blog, and then, as usual, I will give you my contact information if you want to talk to me. The school board meeting, or actually, I should say, the committee, the whole meeting, was interesting on Tuesday. There wasn't a whole lot of drama per se, but it was kind of neat to see some things happen. The first thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk a little bit about the now apparent sale of the LCA building to the LCA board. I support it. I think it's a good idea. It is a good compromise. And sometimes with compromise, you don't always get everything that you want. I think there seems to be some members of the LCA board, if you would have read some of the articles in the Sheboygan Press about people who were thinking that the school board was trying to keep power, and they were concerned about the legality, thinking that it was perfectly legal to sell the building as is without any restrictions or covenants, and the school board thinking that no, you really can't turn around and resell the building to a private entity. This solution seems to be a good compromise. If you are not familiar with it, if you've not had a chance to read the press article, what it is the school board has agreed to sell back the LCA building to LCA for, I believe it's $2.4 million. I don't have those figures right in front of me. And as part of that, LCA promises that they cannot turn around and resell the building to a private entity or to another nonprofit. Basically, it has to stay a school. Seeing as that's what LCA is looking for, they're looking for this building to be a school. I think it's a good compromise. That all happened after I left the meeting because I'm not involved in the closed session. I'm not a school board member yet, so so those are things that I was made aware of only after the fact, only by reading what Janet Ortegan had written in the press, but that is my brief impression about it. It's something that I did think was coming for a while. If you read the agenda for the school board meetings and committee, the whole meetings, they always had something at the very end about negotiating the purchase or sale of property. So I figure that they were getting pretty close. When you're doing this for every meeting for several meetings in a row, that means that you are actually doing some pretty serious negotiation. And it looks like it's finally come to some fruition, and that's good for the school district. It's good for LCA. It's good for the kids that go to LCA. And it's good for it's good for everyone. What did intrigue me during this meeting, besides what happened at the very end with the whole LCA thing, was there were some presentations that went on. One with Jefferson School, which is a school I really regret missing going to their family night. I was sick as a dog. This was about a week or so ago, and also North High School did as well. This is something that's new. What the school district and the school board is trying to do is they're trying to get every school to come in at least once every few years to say, this is what we're doing, this is what our goals are, this is what we've achieved, this is what we need to improve on, this is the makeup of our school. How many kids are considered to be special needs, how many kids are African American, Asian, Caucasian, how many people are receiving free or reduced lunch, what are their MAP scores, their WKCE scores. What was neat was that for Jefferson, it was mainly run by the kids. I really wish this is something that was one of the videotaped episodes or one of the videotaped meetings. Committee, the whole meetings are not taped. It is only the full board. But it was neat to see these 3 fifth graders going in and reading the report and telling these powerful people in the school board what's going on at the school, why they like Jefferson, how they've achieved, and and why Jefferson has been a good school for them. The principal there didn't, he said some things, and he talked more about what was going on with the MAP scores, with the WKCE things, the things that really kids are probably aren't that clued in. I know I wasn't in the fifth grade, so I can't imagine that that other kids would be as well. But it was neat to see that that these kids were going and were getting involved. It was neat to see the board members, really respond more to them. They asked a lot of questions of them, and they didn't ask any of the adults there, which was neat. There was also North High School, which did not have any children there. They did have their administrative team, along with a couple of lead teachers. And what they talked about, one thing that I had heard a little bit about, but I wasn't totally familiar with, was the idea of essentially flexible scheduling. If you've ever gone to college, like I'm going to right now, and a lot of you probably have or are, you know that when you go to school, classes aren't always 48 minutes long. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, they may be 50 minutes. On Thursdays, you may have a 3-hour lab, but then on Friday, you only meet for like 20 minutes or so. That is one thing that they're going to be looking at North High School, is to expand the classes when needed, shrink them when needed, to allow the kids to have as much flexibility as they can to really maximize their learning potential, which I think it's an interesting idea, and one that I really would like to get more information on, because this might be something that other schools like South or some of the charter schools might be really interested in. Apparently, this is only being done on a regular basis at one school at Wausau West, and they've been doing this for a number of decades already, so they're pretty well expert on this. I know that some of the North team have gone over to Wausau West and kind of observed, and I would like to get more information on this. One other thing that North is proposing is they're proposing what would, for lack of a better term, be called a winterim session, where teachers would be given a week to teach on, for the most part, whatever they're interested in. And if they can find kids that are also interested in it, that's great. The one example they use is the idea of ice fishing. Like if you've got a teacher who's really passionate about ice fishing, you can then you bring kids in, and from an academic standpoint, this isn't just going out and sitting on the ice and fishing, but you can learn about how do you ice fish, why is this important for the ecology, why should we do it, what's the history behind it, especially in Wisconsin, and then you go out and you sit on the river and hopefully you catch something. What's neat about this is not just that the teachers are doing something that they may be passionate about, something that they don't necessarily get to teach during the regular curriculum, but it also, because it's going to be held in between semesters, it will give those kids who are behind in the first semester, who may need like an extra week to get caught up, that they will have that whole week's time to get ready for the next semester. I think that's a neat idea. Those were the two main things that I caught from the committee of the whole meeting. It was actually a committee of the whole meeting that I got home before 10 o'clock, which has been unusual lately. One other thing that, now that I think about, that did come to pass is that they did pass, with the exception of health insurance and retirement, they did pass the teacher and the support staff handbooks. It is something that I know that the SEA and AFSCME and the administration have worked very hard on. It is, by no means is it a complete document. These kinds of things do change over time, and I hope that the relationships that have been built through the meet and confer process, where the administration and the various employee groups, it's not a negotiation because that's against the law, but it's a semi-formal gathering to give input, to give insight, and to hopefully shape policy in a way that everyone feels like they have at least some say in what's going on. And I think that is the best way to go, to collaborate. Collaboration is key, if you want people to be on board with you and your policies as a board. Now, that is definitely it. That's all that happened at the board meeting. It was nice to actually get home at a decent time, and spend a little bit of time with my family, which I have been very sorely neglectful in doing, because of school and work and everything else. A couple of things outside of the school board, outside of the committee of the whole that I was involved in. I spent this past Monday, I spent some great times with the PTO, or the PTA, soon to be PTO of Cleveland, and then right after that I flew on over to Lincoln Erdman, and I had a chance to meet with Marty Steinbrecher, who was Alex's, my son's and my daughter Katie's principal at Grant and ESA. Marty is a great principal. I really enjoyed seeing her and meeting with Deb Strablo Deb Strablo, who is the current principal of Grant and also at Cleveland and Northeastern Wisconsin Montessori. It was neat meeting with both these boards and both these PTOs and getting a sense as far as what they're looking for, what they're concerned about, and giving them a chance to put a face to this Brian Berg guy who will be on a ballot in a couple of weeks, but they really don't know anything about. So it was a neat opportunity, and I hope that if I am elected, that I'll be able to do that again, as I have promised that I will do so. Other things that have gone on, it has been a busy week personally. I actually have a paper that's due. It's due tomorrow, but I won't be able, I got to get it done tonight because tomorrow I am picking up my signs. If you have seen my Facebook page, you have seen the proof of the sign. They are ready. I am excited. I am going to be picking them up tomorrow and on Sunday at 1 o'clock. That is Sunday the 18th. At Paradigm Coffee House at 1 o'clock. We are going to have a staple and take party. I have 250 signs. I'd like them to be gone as quickly as possible and out on lawns as quickly as possible. If you are interested, please go to my Facebook page and just let me know. That way I've got an idea about how many people are going to be there. I do ask that if you do go, that you buy coffee from them. They are letting me have the space, and I think it's really important that we support these guys by buying coffee from them. They're letting us use the space. It's important that we support them and thank them by buying some coffee. I know I will be buying probably a lot of coffee as we're putting this together. I do ask too that if you're going to come and help, that you bring your own staplers. I do not have 250 staplers, and I'm not going to be buying them either. So if you do have staplers, please bring them. That would be really, really helpful. And then finally, I'm only going to have one more blog after this. The school board election is coming up. We do have one more full school board meeting, and that is on the 28th, I believe. And I will be live blogging from that. And then after that, it's election time. This has gone by really, really quickly. And election, don't forget, is going to be on April 3rd. Also, I just got interviewed by Janet Ortegan from the Sheboygan Press. Actually, that happened just a little bit ago. So expect to see a profile of me and probably the other candidates as well within the probably next few weeks. If you are interested in this campaign, if you have never seen my blog before and you want more information, or if you want to sign up and help, don't forget, go to my website, www.ryanbergforschoolboard.weebly.com. Search for me on Facebook. Go to my Twitter page. I would love to hear from you. You guys take care. Enjoy the weather. It was gorgeous yesterday. It was beautiful today. I know this weekend there's a chance to rain. I hope not. But the weather's just been amazing. It's also going to be great weather. The ground is going to be nice and soft come Sunday for you to put up those campaign signs. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.